Welcome to the 1457 podcast from Scotland, where golf began, a digital platform where we try to inspire golfers near and far to come to Scotland to play golf. You'll find all you need to know through our great photography, short films and stories, and of course, our podcasts on our website, scotlandwheregolfbegan.com. And on social, you'll find us at Where Golf Began and Facebook, Scotland Where Golf Began. But this is the 1457 podcast, and we had a great trip with the 1457 guys out to Montrose the other week, and walking along, and this chap called Per Holm said, "Hello, are you the 4057 guys?" And Per is from Sweden. He listens to all the podcasts while he is keeping his bees. So I guess it's our fault if he gets stung. But it was really nice to meet someone who listens to the podcast, and hopefully he'll join us on the 1457 Society. But that was quite fun. So, Mr. Kerr, what have you been up to? You've had quite a good week recently, haven't you?
Yeah, well, again, it's all work, Malcolm. It's all work, but I've had a couple of quite decent weeks.
So you've been on a course?
Yeah, exactly. One or two. So no, we're very lucky in this business, aren't we? But yeah, I had a week in Liverpool actually, which because we're a Scottish podcast, we won't talk about that very much. But it was very nice. It was very pleasant. Playing golf down there, and then a wonderful week up in Scotland the last week. Few days over in St Andrews, staying at the wonderful Seaton House in St Andrews, eating at the wonderful seafood restaurant. Had some amazing wine in there, Malcolm. You'd have loved it.
Yeah.
And then some golfers. We saw some golfers off the old course last week. A group of 8 and a group of 4. And then lucky enough to be treated to a night up at Turnberry on Thursday. Played the Ailsa course on the Friday morning. Saw the recent changes they've made to number 7 and 8. So yeah, wonderful. Very lucky with the weather as well. It was. I wasn't able to join the guys for their first round of golf, but there was a lot of red faces on the Friday morning. People got a bit oversunned and probably hydrated as well. Yeah, overserved, I think, is what the Americans say, isn't it? So
I was wondering whether that was the redness or what. So just looking at Trump's golf contribution in Scotland, Turnberry is phenomenal, and the 2 courses in Aberdeen, the new one I played at first time last year, is absolutely stunning. But the number of folks say to me, "I'm not going to go and play it. I'm not going to go and play it because of Mr. Trump." My take is, put Mr. Trump to bed, whatever you want to do with him. But, a lot of money's been spent. You've got 2 courses in both locations, which are fabulous golf courses. They bring a lot of money to the Scottish golf economy. They employ a lot of people, so the massive contribution. So yes, people do things that are not so good. People do things that are good. So my view is, ignore the guy who's put all the money in if you don't like him, but go and look after the staff, talk to the friendly staff down there, and you'll have a wonderful experience. And I think Trump has been taken off lots of logoing on all the rest of it, so you don't really have to think about him. But your take on those 2 sets of 2 golf courses?
No, indeed, absolutely fantastic. I think the Ailsa course was always one of my favourites, and the changes that they made, 10 or so years ago now, and then the more recent changes have only served to enhance the experience there. As you say, the staff are always wonderful. He's got a wonderful team of people led by Nick Oldham down there at Turnberry, and again, this week's not been bad either, Malcolm. I was up at Trump, up at Aberdeenshire on Monday, and played the new course there. I hadn't played the new course before, so it's a tough life, this, isn't it?
I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous.
Hadn't played the new course there, so it was great to see that for the first time on Monday. And again, it's I'd heard some, not criticism per se, but I think probably people comparing the newer course with the older course up at Trump Aberdeen, and it's going to be difficult to hit the highs of the older course, but the new course, think I genuinely was very, very impressed with. There's clearly some work to be done and growth to happen because it's only just officially opened this year. But the last few holes are obviously needing a bit of growth around them. Some of the mounding that they've created around those last couple of holes needs to really grow in and take root. But as a golf course, it really adds to the area, and I hope me, I'm a member up at Cruden Bay. I hope it draws more people to stay in that area for a little bit longer than maybe they otherwise would have done. So if we can get people up there for 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 nights, and then really kind of throw themselves into Aberdeenshire as a region, I think that can only be a good thing. So really
Yeah, just finishing off in Turnberry, a lot of the changes that have been done down there were actually been planned for a long time, and it just when the man came in, the funding happened, so it went and did. Anyway, enough about those particular courses. Montrose is a great day, a great outing. And next one's at Kilspindie, I'll talk about later on at the end of the month. If you want to join the 1457 Society, the founder member, you can do it for £49, or you can join free. All sorts of benefits like becoming a member of the Malt Whisky Society. Just go to scotlandforgolfbegan.com and click on the 1457 Society picture, and all the details will be there. So we're also missing co-pilot Ross Flanagan today, so I've got to press the button, so hopefully all this is recording. I've not made an entire botch of it. So the Scozzy Jambo's son has flown into town, so they might be, Ross won't because he doesn't drink, but there might be a bit of redness one morning purely from sun, but I hope they have a great time. So today, what we're talking about on the podcast is fun golf in Scotland. So that carries a multitude of sins, but was kind of inspired by the list of Great Britain and Ireland's 100 best fun golf courses by Chris Bertram and whichever magazine he is, which magazine is that?
Today's Golfer.
Yeah, Today's Golfer. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But what makes golf fun in Scotland, Dave?
Well, Malcolm, without wanting to inflate your ego any further, anytime, 4 hours anywhere with you is a joy. So even more so on the golf course. But no, I mean, obviously, I've taken that too far. But I think
I'm not Neil Hampton. For
me, golf's a social sport. If you want to call it a sport, maybe it's a game. I don't know. People can choose whether they call it a sport or a game. And for me, it's about spending time with my friends, and what could be more fun than that, right? So for 4 hours, I personally, for instance, when we played up in Trump, up in his new course up in Aberdeenshire on Monday, we were very sensible and chose to play off a very sensible set of tees. There's no point playing off 6,700 yards, 7,000 yards, all this kind of caper and flogging yourself to death. I think we played off about 6-3, maybe something like that. Just we want to hit fairways, we want to hit greens, we want to have a putt, So it was a day out with friends, and it was an opportunity to enjoy yourself. So I think golf for me, the whole point of golf is the fun element of it. Maybe it's a shorter form, maybe it's a quick 9 holes after work when the sun's out. Now, obviously, we're getting longer nights in the evenings. Maybe it's going out at first thing in the morning and having a quick 9 holes with a friend. I think golf is designed to be a fun game. It shouldn't, I think we've all had those bad moments where maybe the game's not going the way you want it to go, and maybe you get a wee bit kind of wrapped up in yourself. But just taking a wee moment, taking a breather, reminding yourself that this is fun and it's supposed to put a smile on your face, just gives you a wee bit of perspective, I think. What about yourself, Malcolm? My sense is, Malcolm, that every time you tee up the ball, it's about having fun and enjoying yourself.
I think it just is. I mean, I was very lucky the other week, got invited up to Castle Stewart and played with Fred McCauley, who you know, and Fred is one of Scotland's top comedians. It's odd because he started life as accountant and not very, maybe that's why his humour is quite so dry. I don't know. But it's great course, but that's a course you can really attack. And they're really a good caddy, but he kept saying, you know, that is it the fourth, that really attackable short par four with a couple of bunkers. He said, no, you don't need to hit it all there. And of course, I took a 3-wood to go short. I should have got a 5-iron. But you know, you just, everything in you, the Royal Marine in you, everything in you says, I want to go and hit that bloody thing. So attacking golf is great fun. But I mean, what other game can you be walking down the second hole as soon as the second hole on a round of golf with someone you've never known and be taking the piss out of them? You've never seen them in their life, not in your clean puff. And I've got to stop using it. One of my favourite lines playing with someone I've not played with is when they hit a great shot or they beat you in a hole. It says, do you know what I like about you? Nothing. Well, the answer might be nothing. It might be a bit stronger than that, but it's, you know, it's so someone leaves a putt shot and, you know, you've dropped something and they turn around and looking around and say, it's your lipstick. And all these little cracks and they're cracking fun. And Scotland, I think our inland courses are great. But our links courses, I think Neil Hampton talked about, a lot of the fun is around the greens. And is it fun not hitting a green and coming off a green? I remember I think it was the club championship, which you obviously didn't win. I was on the fifth at Renaissance par 3, shortest par 5 in East Lothian, in one at the back of the green, and the pin was at the front with a howling wind. I putted off the green into a bunker. I took a 9. I think after about the fourth shot, I said to the boys, just you count. It's bunker backwards, forwards, and backwards and forwards. And you just piss it. Well, you can get angry and throw your clubs, but you just got to laugh and play the next shot. So many of these greens, they just lead you in. And so I think that's why people really come across you and enjoy the architecture, because, I mean, there's one putt on one of the holes, caddy said, hit it, it was about 15 feet left. And I said, you're joking. You have got to be joking. I said, I cannot see that. He said, no, it's here. So I put it inside. Nah, you'll miss it by 20 feet down the hill. And sure enough, I hit the putt, and I didn't hit it hard enough, but he was absolutely spot on. And I find it really hard to hit a putt you can't see. So, you know, it's that, you know, the caddies in Scotland, we're not really a country that takes caddies, but, you know, with the Americans coming across, they like caddies. So the caddy culture is maybe building a bit here, not so much with the Scots. But those boys in the cracks they come out with. I mean, it's classic story about the American guy said to the old English guy said, "You must be the worst caddy in the world." And the caddy said, "Nay, sir, that would be too much of a coincidence." So
they can a good caddy can definitely enhance a round, can't it? Put a smile on your face when you're having one of those moments. And again, the dry humor, I think, of a caddy is often well timed on a golf course, I think.
And I think also, you know, we play a bit in the winter at Kilspindy in the short course. I mean, so you talked about 6,300. That's quite a nice length. We go on these courses and we want to massacre them. In Scotland, a lot of the wee courses round about, we'll talk about later on in the fun courses, they're not long. And so Neil Hampton said on his podcast, you know, it's not about hitting long drives. It's about hitting to the right place and then trying to get up and down off the greens. But you play in a 5-club wind, you know, it's that can be really funny. Or the rain and the wind's not quite so funny, I've got to say. Yeah, maybe I used to get paid to do that.
It's hard to have fun when you've got both. Yeah. Harder. But yeah, if you've got the right company and the right attitude, then golf can be fun at any time, right? So.
Oh no, absolutely. It's yeah. Well, and then, you know, the hospitality in Scotland. I think, you know, the fun. You meet a member, you come off the golf course, and you go into the clubhouse, and you meet the members and get the stories. I mean, that's a lot of fun. And again, if you go and explore the slightly more remote or lesser known courses, you'll find all of that. Maybe clubhouse doesn't look fantastic, but you'll get a nice feed, you'll get a nice drink, and most importantly, you'll get stories and crack. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah. Again, I think we often, when we've got clients coming to Scotland, Particularly for the first time, I think the danger, or maybe the temptation, is to try and fill every minute with, rushing here, there, and everywhere, playing 36 holes. Can we squeeze in a quick nine? There's a place for that. There's a time and a place for that. But a lot of the fun stuff happens around the edges, where you create a wee bit of space where you can, wander into a bar or hang around a clubhouse after a round of golf, have a conversation with a couple of local guys, whether they're members or caddies or just people you meet in one of the wonderful bars in East Lothian or in Fife, or up in Aberdeenshire or across on the west coast, and you'll just meet characters, and that'll be fun in itself. And I think a lot of the joy, a lot of the wonderful memories that come out of a trip to Scotland, that's where those memories are made, is those little moments that no one planned for, and they just happened, right? I'm sure people go home and are very happy to tell stories of the wonderful shots they hit. But a lot of those special memories and special moments come from those things that happen around the edges of golf. Meeting someone in a bar, the concierge at your hotel, a restaurateur maybe who puts a smile on your face and introduces you to a bottle of wine that you have been meaning to try for a while. Sadly, there was one in East Lothian that used to do exactly that, but it's just not there anymore. That's where. Aside from, obviously, we're going to get on and talk about fun actually on the golf course, a lot of that fun can happen outside of that, and that's a crucial element to any golf trip, isn't it? Is finding that space, building.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the other thing is the views, the inland courses too. I mean, some of the inland courses are great, and the same with links. And of course, there's a new game this year. The new game, especially around parkland courses, invented by Ross Flanagan. Find a lighthouse.
Find the lighthouse. It's like, where's Wally and where Waldo, but lighthouse.
Oh, poor old Ross.
I'm just going to start. I did have. He'll never listen to this, right? So we can. I think what I'm intending to do over the course of the summer, is when I post a picture maybe of some clients on a course in Scotland, is just Photoshop a wee lighthouse in. So like someone's going to be playing the old course where a lighthouse sitting behind the Rusacks Hotel, and just see if our little Scozzy friend notices.
Just for those of you who don't know what the hell we're talking about, we did Scotland's halfway houses, and on that we're talking about the halfway house at the King's Course at Glen Eagles, and Ross chips in about 20 minutes later and said, "Hey guys, you might have pulled me up," because he was thinking we're in the one at Turnberry, and it all comes and stems from there. The other thing I always forget to do is introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, I'm Malcolm Duck, the Duck, out of work restaurateur looking for gainful employment. Right, shall we have a look at that list then?
Yeah, the list.
Should we start from the back, start to the end, and go
start at number one, or start at number
one? Right,
yeah, why not?
Start at number one. Okie doke.
Well, an hour will be up and we'll stop.
Exactly.
Wherever we get to.
So
do you want?
Well, I think
this is your idea, Malcolm. So let's.
One of the ones we need to talk about is there's a golf course somewhere, and some visitors were looking for this particular island, and I went into the tour operators and asked, so, "Can you tell me where I can find an island called Tenine?" So Tenine? And no, I don't know Tenine. Tenine? I don't know. Work that one out, boys and girls. Work that one out. I can see it, being a dyslexic duck. I can see it. Very, very funny. I love that.
It's on the list, right? It's on the list.
Yeah, it's on the list. That's what kind of reminded me of it.
It's one of Jim Hartzell's favourite, I think, that one.
Yeah, I think that's right. So in this list, there are of 100 from around the UK. There are 42 from Scotland, including the first 6 slots. So, Dave, take us away.
Why only the first 6 slots, Mark? Why only? But anyway.
But it's quite interesting, the first 6 slots. I mean, actually, I was going to get you to, because you do, you review golf course, I'm going to maybe talk to you about, very quickly, let's talk about, why are these lists important, or are they not important? I mean, for me, it just gets us talking. But why are they important for you?
100%. Again, I think it's One of the fascinating things about when you try and rank golf courses or rate them is that everyone's got a different view as to what constitutes a good golf course, a fun golf course, somewhere they want to spend 4 hours of their lives. And I think that's what makes lists fascinating for me is the wide range of opinions and views that are inevitably expressed when you start talking about these things. So, um, no, and particularly if it's a ranking, because then it's ranking one above another, and inevitably someone will think that something's in the wrong place, right? And argue blue in the face. But I think that that's a great conversation to have over a drink in a pub, isn't it?
Yeah.
What it starts with, well, I think this course is better than that course, or well, I think that course is better than this course, and then eventually you do get into a more nuanced conversation about what you value, what you appreciate, and I think that's where the good stuff is, right? Get into what is it that made that a great golf course for you, and for some people, it's maybe the people they were with that day. It was a great shot they hit out of the bunker on 6 to 3 feet. It's the putt that they hold from 50 feet. For some people, it's the architecture. For some people, it's the conditioning. For some people, it's about the journey the course has been on. Maybe it was unloved, underappreciated, and then a good committee has come in and strengthened the course and made some architectural changes and improved the bunkering and improved the quality of the greens. So I think that's the thing that fascinates me is that everyone's got a different take, comes at it from a different perspective. But as you say, for me, I agree with you wholeheartedly that one of the great things about lists is that it just starts people talking about courses that maybe they've never seen before, but maybe one of their friends has. So let's have a good chat about why this particular course is number 23 on the list, right?
And it takes time to go and play them and do all that. And Chris Bertram's a great guy. He's been doing this for a long time. So I'm sure we won't agree with everything, but you do your
I
list.
need to think
Agree
how
with
many
it,
courses he's played. He must a frightening number.
Should get him on the podcast, actually.
Absolutely. I think we both know Stuart down at Archerfield as well, and I think he's ticked off Scotland's top 200, I think now. So it's a frightening number of golf courses again. He must have played.
That's crazy. Anyway, number 1 is
North Berwick. Again, I think you and I both thought that maybe some of the big names wouldn't necessarily feature on the list. There you go.
Someone today said to me, the best thing about North Berwick is the wee course. I was talking what to talk about in fun golf. He said, the wee course. So should a golf course that's coming up right at the top of the rankings as the best golf courses around, should that be in the fun golf category? Discuss. North Berwick is great fun. I mean, the North Berwick people will say it's better than Muirfield. I will say take 100 to Muirfield, take the same 100 to North Berwick, and more people go back to North Berwick because they like it better. Doesn't make it a better golf course because Muirfield, I think most people agree, is a better golf course. But is it fun? So I certainly think it's fun. But should it be up there? Does it matter? Because it's just where it is.
There's no doubt it's fun. There's no doubt it's a fun golf course. It puts a smile on your face. I guess, and from one dimension of fun is probably quirky and unexpected. And again, we'll talk about the number 2 course as well, which probably falls into the same category. And it is quirky and it is unexpected. And these are golf courses that even a wonderful architect like Mr. Doak wouldn't design today. Like committees and members of golf courses, that's for whatever reason, that's not what they want anymore. As you can decide yourself whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but golf courses with blind shots and chipping over walls and stuff is for whatever reason not what people want on a new course. So to have these courses that are throwbacks to the way things used to be and the way architects found the land and I think you've said this before, Malcolm. So I'm going to steal your phrase now. That like an architect like Tom Morris didn't design golf courses. He found them. They were there,
Yeah,
and he just went, "I'm just going to there's a hole. There's a hole there,
that's
and I'm
it.
just going to." So
That's kind of the way Tom Doak tries to work. But I mean, Renaissance is kind of Muirfield, the old course in North Berwick, but they're the two par threes at the roundabout the ninth. You do get chipping of the wall there both ways a couple of times. So that's what I knew, of course, with the odd one, but I can't think of many other. And number 2, Cruden Bay. I see Aberdeenshire coming in there. I mean, they have got a sense of humour in Aberdeen, haven't they?
some of them. But no,
Oh, great crack up there. Some great guys up there. So
again, I'm biased. I'm biased because it's it's one of my home clubs. Again, there's some holes on there that you've just got to smile. The maybe the second hole, for me, with that really raised green, is the number of times I've tried to chip up to that and had to chip up again. You can only laugh. The third hole, the kind of blind par 4, where if you get the right bounce, you're 10 feet from the flag. You get the wrong bounce, you're in someone's back garden. The fourth hole, where you're shooting, it's like 160, 170 yards off the yellow tee, but you can play anything from a 3-wood to a sand wedge, depending on the weather. So yeah, it's one of those quirky, unusual, fun, puts a smile on your face course, isn't it?
And again, great views.
100%. Yeah. No, indeed.
So number 3 is interesting.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel.
So have we guessed what we're talking about before we get there? This is a particularly well-known golf course. It's possibly the best-known golf course in the world. Do you think it's got a caveat brackets when played backwards?
Yeah. No,
So we're talking about the old course in Andrew. Number 3, best fun golf course. I mean, golf is fun, full stop. So it wouldn't jump at me as being up there. I mean, your first time you play, you're standing there, you're terrified on the tee with all the sense of history. I say on the No Laying Up first podcast they did, with a particularly flat fairway, a bit like a field with a stream across it, and a particularly flat green. I mean, it's a magical golf course. Standing on that first tee is absolutely magical. Great golf course. It's got it's up there in history. I'm just a bit behind Scotland's Golf Coast and Musselburgh and all the golf where we all started there. I missed Scotland's Golf Coast earlier on when you mentioned East Lothian. So Scotland, the home of golf, and St Andrews.
I think when I call it the home of golf, it puts a smile on your face at least, so that's fun, right? I wonder whether this one intrigues me actually in terms of where they're coming at here. So, what I would say is that you're not going to get beat up on the old course, right? You're not going to come off like you've been flogged, like
unless you get in a bunker. That's about the only place.
No, I mean, I think did I talk about this last time? I did had a round on the old last year where I was so I've never had an under par round. I've never had a level par round actually on the old course. And last year I was coming down, stood on the 17th tee, 1 under par for my day, thinking, here we go, today's the day, because I made the mistake of adding it up, right? And I had a great tee shot on 17, and then I put it in the road hole bunker, and took another shot, and I was still in the road hole bunker. So I managed to get out for a 5, and then I thought, right, okay, it's a level par round now. Let's just have par up the last. And another great drive, and then laid sod over the top of my chip shot. And to howls of derision from the people in the Rusacks on the 4th floor hanging over the balcony. So, 73. it's still a fine round of golf, right? But
very fine.
yeah, no, I was having a lot of fun right up until that moment. I was in the road hole bunker. But yeah, it's so I think they're coming at this from it doesn't punch you in the face, so therefore
I think that's fair.
fine.
That's fair enough. I would spiritual home of the Open, I would say, is Prestwick, but anyway, that's another thing. That's not the golf course and fun. That's maybe him having a bit of fun with Prestwick.
Well, you don't have to go far.
We don't. And then Ely, number 5.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I mean, it's classic links, lovely views.
Again, I know some friends who played in the Earls Ferry Open last June and got some biblical rain and some horrific wind. So they probably didn't necessarily have lots of fun that day. But yeah, it's another course that puts a smile on your face. There's some really interesting, quirky stuff. I think right from the start, you're standing on the first tee and you're hitting over a bank, which means that you cannot see the fairway and you cannot see the green. Like, it's mad. There's no way you would design a golf hole like that these days. Like, it's just as well they've got a periscope, in the pro shop, because you would never design a hole like that anymore.
Could you see a lighthouse through the periscope? Sorry.
Yeah, you probably can actually.
You can actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, how can that not be fun? Stand on the first tee.
Absolutely.
I have no idea where to put this. I'm just shooting over this hill.
That's a must-play course. It's the cracker. Quite well known, but it's a must-play course. And 6, we got Shishkin on Aaron. We won't too long of that. Go and listen to the Aaron podcast we did the other week, and all about Aaron. Great golf, of course. 12 holes, Shishkin, magical place, and you'll find someone flogging golf balls not far away. And but take your own booze with you, because it's Clubhouse's teetotal, which is also quite fun. So then we straight to Ireland for some reason, in Norfolk, and Porthcawl,
Perranporth, this guy's few pounds, I think. Of course, Pennard, but
Brora,
number 12. Here we go. Yeah. So
what a fine golf course.
It really is. And again, there's a lot made of the fact that taking the sheep and the cows off the golf course during the summer now, but it's there's just holes in that golf course that you wouldn't build today. Wonderful original James Braid design, again, how could you not enjoy seeing your playing partner hit into that last green with a false front and then have the ball roll all the way back down to about 60 yards from the pin? I mean, that's just a delight. That's just a joy.
It is, as long as it's him and not you.
Exactly.
I think it is a bit sad that, modernity creeps in and it's not just there, they take the cows and the sheep and bits and bobs off. And I heard someone else podcast, people try to tidy up golf courses. It's not how they were designed, how they were built. They were built to be earthy, and like we were talking earlier, they found the holes, they found the golf courses, and they evolved. So, the modern golf courses being built, they're all clean and tidy. But, it's one of the joys of some of these smaller golf courses round about is they're just a joy to play. And it's the fact they're not just pristine, they're a bit scruffy at the edges, but very pretty in their own way and all the rest of it. So, but
again, I think your point is a really well made one, Malcolm. And I think I'm not sure. You'll tell me because you know the area. Obviously, you are Mr. East Lothian, but it's maybe more Edinburgh really than. It's really more Edinburgh than East Lothian, isn't it? Old Musselburgh, but I don't think it. I don't think so. I don't think it features on this list. But again, the joy. Does it? Is it all right? So the joy of we might not get there sadly on this hour. But, the joy of getting a free drop out of a hoof print on the race course, again, that's just great fun.
That's just fun.
So And similarly, I'm sure the courses like Barora and others of that ilk, if back when the cows were on the course, and Pennard actually is on the list as well, isn't it? They've got cows on the course. You get a free drop out of a pat, right? So, you know, what could be more fun, right, than handing your caddy that ball to Queen?
Well, if you go and look at some of the old Hickory clubs, you know, there were clubs made to hit out ruts of tracks and out of all these kind of things, specially designed just for that. I don't know if Braid Hills in Edinburgh's mentioned on it as well, but that's a great fun golf course.
That's true.
Very underrated in Scotland, not expensive and easy to get to. Fraserburgh at 13.
Yeah, there's holes in that golf course that you just don't design today. You know, I think 1 in 18, you know, to a certain extent, it models the old course in St Andrews, and it's a big flat space. But I think they've got plans to make some changes there. But some of the swales and you know, the furrows on fairways at Fraserburgh are just great fun. Just great fun. Again, I think that corner of Scotland, we've also talked about Cruden Bay. Peterhead is another one up there that's you know, just a wonderful place to spend a few hours.
It's a great part of the world to go to and actually base a trip in. And again, going back to the Trump courses up there, that's helped with more golf and accessibility up there. Now, next we come to what should be number one. It should be number one in the world ranking of golf courses, Kilspindie. As if you don't know in the world by now, it's the one. If I had one golf course left to play in my life, it'd be Kilspindie, maybe twice. Kilspindie is just a joy for me. Little par 3 to start with. The 8th par 3 is brilliant. Then the first 2, 3, 4 go down the coast. I think the 4th in the corner is one of the finest holes in East Lothian. The green's not always in the best nick because it's right by the sea and it really gets battered by the tide and the salt. But I mean, you hit it a wee bit right, you're out of bounds, and you only have the green to get to if you're trying to get out there. So again, not a long shot, but are you going to take that on? Are you not going to crosswind?
And it's very, you know, that's, you know, as you say, the wind is everything down there as well, right? So it's
yeah. Well, links golf generally, it's, you know, it really changes things round about. Again, going back to Renaissance, we've now got an east and a west course, so you play up and back depending on the wind. So it's actually it's handicapped and rated for both. But Kilspindie we covered a bit before, so we'll spend too long. Cullen, I've never played Cullen, but I mean, again, straight along. Yeah,
we need to get another original old Tom Morris design. Just weird. Just like, you know, there's holes where there's a hole at one point where you're playing a par 3 over the previous green through some sandstone cliff edges, basically, and to a pin you can barely see on a par 3. It's just it's wild. And it's on kind of 2 levels as well. You know, the first few holes take you up onto kind of almost kind of the high ground, and then you shoot down, and then there's the original holes round by the coast. It's got a kind of Jurassic Park kind of quality as well in terms of shooting around some of the big sandstone pillars on the course. It's again, I think Nobly and Up did one of their trips to Scotland and played there, and I think they still sponsor one of the holes on the course actually.
They certainly came in to help with it. Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, I think one of the other things about around that area, that whole Aberdeenshire area, is, I mean, and actually up by Inverness and Dornoch, I mean, it's the drives. I mean, if you're driving around central Scotland, the drive's a bit boring in a motorway, whatever. Up there, you're on smaller roads, absolutely gorgeous. You know, a lot of the tour uppers will set up for you. If you hire a car or a bus yourself to do it, then it is absolutely glorious.
It's one of those where you could stop every few miles and you know, take in the views, take some pictures. I'll never do it justice, by the way. You'll get home and think, why do we bother stopping there? Because it doesn't look anything like what I remember it looking like. But
and very often it's the light's too bright. You really have to get out in the morning or the evening. I'm struggling to talk about photography. I remember intercepting a pass you gave Ross in photography, I think, on one of the podcasts, because I quite enjoy my photography as well. But I mean, Ross's stuff, some of his photography is great. I know he's he's a jambo, but some of his
I'm afraid
photographs
some of his pictures at the football are just outrageously bad. Come on, what's he thinking? Like, no one wants to see that. Like,
no, but some of the ones of the crowds.
Anyway,
are
put it away
stunning.
now.
Anyway, for chosen Rosemarkie.
We jump to the next Scottish group.
21.
Rosemarkie.
For chosen Rosemarkie. Again, getting better known now.
I think so. I think, Mike McDonald, the GM up there, or whatever his official title is, has done some amazing work in terms of raising the profile of the place. The golf course has got some amazing holes and views out onto the Dornoch Firth, and and I can't think of too many golf courses in Scotland where if you stand on the tee box long enough, is it the fifth, the sixth, the one, the short hole at the top, where you might spot some dolphins off the coast. So, and again, that's a hole, I think it plays 100 yards, 110 yards, something like that, shooting over the road. And again, I think I've hit everything from a sand wedge to a 4-iron there or something, depending on the weather and the wind conditions. So, what could be more fun than that? Testing yourself against the elements. And again,
absolutely,
we talked about that a wee bit with the links golf. That's one of the joys of links golf, isn't it? Is testing yourself against the elements. So
no, absolutely. The wind makes a huge difference. And then Dunaverty, so that's really coming up. So Jim Hartzell really has done a lot with that. I mean, the golf course is worth it in its own right. Again, stunning views, good condition. West coast of Scotland, so beware of the midges. But apart from that, on the golf course, not too many midges. You've normally got a bit of a breeze going, so when you go through a dip somewhere, then you can have your lunch on midges. But
again, it's one of those that people make plans to go over there and play Machrihanish and Machrihanish dunes, not really think about Dunaverty, and then just squeeze it in somewhere, and then come away going, why was this not on our agenda from the start? It's it's one of those places where people don't necessarily have high expectations and are always blown away.
Yeah. I mean, if you folk listening want to drop us an email or get in touch, or if you want to help plan some of the trips, because the big courses are great, and the bucket listing, some of these courses we're talking about are not that expensive, and they are fantastic. So we're about to come on to Gullen 3. We've got Gullen 1, Gullen 2, Gullen 3. Gullen 1 held the Scottish Open, but they're only called 1, 2, and 3 because that's the order they're built in. A lot of locals think 2 is as good as 1. Gullen 3, if you're having a quick round in the evening, it's a fantastic little golf course. Tight fairways, plenty of room off the fairways. The rough is never that dreadful. Fescue gets up a bit, but in recent years it's been cut back a bit. I think that's I don't know if you think the last few years someone was mentioning a lot of the rough has been thinned out, so you find your ball a bit more quickly, which is probably because of visitor play. Because the likes of Gullen 1, I mean, certainly on Gullen 1, the second, you had to think very hard whether you went for your green on the second shot you laid up, because if you missed the green, you might lose your ball.
I think the machinery though that's probably more prevalent now, and the techniques used by green staff has massively improved the way we handle the rough around our golf courses to make it. It'll still be it's still a penalty to be out there. You might finish it all, but that grass is going to wrap itself around the hosel as you try and play a ball out of it. But let's hope any help we can do in finding golf balls is a good thing, right?
Yeah. So Paul Seeger, who was the first superintendent, head greenkeeper at Renaissance, and worked with Jerry Savadi, and Jerry loves his golf courses. But one of the things they took from somewhere is that at the end of the season they baled the fescue, and then they ripped up the meadow grass. They dug as much out as could, and then they sanded it really heavily, because the next year the fescue would come back because it likes the sand, and the meadow grass didn't. So a lot of courses like Nuffmash Muirfield, you got the fescue, but this horrible thick stuff at the bottom. But that thick stuff at the bottom is what that's being developed more and more with machinery. A lot of that stuff is not there anymore, or not as prevalent as it was, so it makes life easier. But Gullen 3, the views across there are phenomenal, and just a short hop from Edinburgh on Scotland's Gulf Coast, where it all started. what should be the cradle of golf, should be the home of golf.
Anyway,
Cruden Bay, Aberdeen. We're back in Aberdeen, St. Olaf.
Yeah, there's a little 9-hole course that sits in the middle of the championship course. Again, the green staff up there do a tremendous job at maintaining that to the similar standard, same standard as the championship links. The greens are always running fast and in great condition there. It's and again, if you find yourself over there having paid the green fee, then again, I think maybe the club could do a bit more to publicise the fact that, if you've paid the green fee on the main course, then you've got you're perfectly within your rights to play 9 holes on the St. Olaf's while you're there, not just jump straight back in the car and head home. It's a great place to spend an early evening. Basically, I'd say go out, play the championship course, come back inside, have some food, try the fish and chips, why not? And because you're in Aberdeenshire, and then head out and play 9 holes in St. Olaf's. What a great day that is!
Brilliant. And coming back inland, Buttergarten up near Inversneggy. Very picturesque, beautiful golf course. It's not linked, so it's better in the summer than it is in the winter. But if you're golfing up there, it's a lovely, lovely layout. Little train, choo-choo train.
That's true. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Actually, and it runs hard and fast in the summer as well. Of course. So it's
some good courses up round about there, to be honest.
100%.
Spey Valley I quite like as well, but it's not always kept in the best condition, but it's a nice golf course. Right, Royal Dornoch is in there. So Dornoch, just all links fun golf courses. There is an argument. Dornoch, one of the great golf courses in the world, for sure. Fun golf course?
I certainly have had fun there. I don't know. I think I know some who struggle on those par threes. Some of those par threes are tricky.
Yeah.
But if you have missed the green on one of those par threes and you manage to get up and down, that's bloody fun, isn't it?
It is fun. It is fun. But you very often watch the other guy's balls rolling back down and your balls rolling back down. But that may be why Neil enjoys playing around the green so much, because, being boss of Dornoch, he's played Dornoch quite a lot. Anyway, skipping through Cabot Highlands, Castle Stewart, played that the other week. Very tackable golf course, newish on the scene, I think 17 years. I like about that is you can actually attack it, and very friendly staff. But there are some holes you can really go for. And the views are stunning across the Forth and the estuary.
You touched on this earlier, didn't you? Even if you're having a bad day, if a golf course has got those amazing views, then that's going to put a smile on your face anyway, isn't it? So
yeah. Durness, I've not played Durness.
I've only been up there the one time, and again, there's often a lot made of the last hole where you're kind of playing kind of cliff edge to cliff edge on a wee par three, but there's some of the holes that are inland are great holes as well. Like there's a kind of it's a par three, right? But it's arguably a par four. It's kind of like 210, 220, one of those. And you're playing like from an elevated tee over a valley to an elevated green, and it's beautiful. There's, it's a long way from everything else. But for obviously the North Coast 500 is now quite a popular choice for people coming to visit Scotland. So it's right on there. If you have smuggled a few clubs in the car, then go up there and you probably a half set would do you around Durness, I would say.
Mr. Half Set Car.
Exactly. So yeah, it's and the views again, the views.
Yeah, I need to go out and do that. Views are stunning. Okay, Gleneagles Queens. Won't talk too much about that. We've done Gleneagles quite a lot on the podcast, but it's a cracking little 3 great courses. The Queen is something special about the Queens for me. I think it's just lovely. Askernish. getting better down out in the Hebrides.
Number 38, yeah. Like a couple of years ago, I think obviously we've had Mr. David Harris on the podcast before.
Yeah.
He's a big exponent of Askernish, and I spent 3 wonderful days. I think I remember some of it at Askernish. They're open a few years ago, and again, it's unspoiled. It's not manicured. It is what it is. They've got an agreement with Scottish Golf that if your ball goes into the macker, as they call it, the kind of heather and flowers and whatever else that border the fairways, that you can get for a 1-stroke penalty, you got to draw it back into the fairway. And that's the way you should play golf there. You know, but a smiling
I think
face.
it's the way you should play golf a lot of places if you're not going if you speed golf, to be honest. One shot and catch up, and then if it's a match play, you drop it 1 shot penalty, you can half the hole, but you can't win it. But the joy of going up there is also just the trip up to the Outer Hebrides or the Uist and Orkney and Shetland. They're just beautiful. I'm just Dumbarnie. I won't spend too long on Dumbarnie because it's I think again it's very attackable. Dave Scott does a phenomenal job there. Newish course. I'm not a great fan of bunkers that haven't got revetted with the kind of plastic bunker thing. The Archerfield ones, particularly for me, I feel unsafe in them. I've had the ball fire back at you pretty hard. But I mean, cracking golf course and quite a few holes you can attack. A lot of the modern golf courses, you mentioned it earlier also, Dave, you can play from different tees, so you can suit your length, whereas the traditional Scottish courses, you're kind of off the whites or the yellows, and you tend to be off the yellows unless you're playing in a middle. But Dumbarnie, a great addition to Scottish goals. Rosapenna not there, but Rosapenna is a fantastic place to go in Ireland. Don't talk about Ireland, but it's brilliant. Machrihanish.
Yeah. Again, it's another one of those courses where there's a lot made of the first hole, and well, it should be, because you know it's an amazingly picturesque spot to hit a tee shot from, right? But some of those holes around where you're looking across to the islands is, there's just terrific, aren't they? Just a terrific place.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it on the Arran podcast. I think what you need to do is to go down through Arran. It's quicker, you can play more golf, and you've got Macdunes right behind it, which is also on the list right beside it. A new course, a different form of golf. It's I find that,
and again, you're right. You're that, and it's the contrast, right? So
yeah,
we've got 3 on the list here, and Machrihanish Dunes here is number 46, just a couple behind Machrihanish. Dunes, Machrihanish, and Dunaverty, totally different character. Those 3 golf courses, all within half an hour of each other.
Yeah.
And there's a golf trip in itself, right? And just 3 completely different golf courses, completely different challenges, but all equally fantastic.
Lanark, quite interesting, because it went to the casting vote as to whether the complex should be built at Lanark or Gleneagles. So Lanark, great old golf course, inland parkland, some crossings. Go and check out the video on their website. It'll tell you about the history. Corey, Aaron,
it's not got that droning old boy doing the voiceover, is it, Malcolm?
I'm not sure who does the voiceover. It could be. Like Jamie wrote the words. The words are good, the voice is not so good. Swine. Corey and Aaron again. We did the podcast on Aaron. Blairgowrie Wee course. So Blairgowrie's in Perthshire, and that is 2 cracking golf course. But the Wee golf course there is, I think, one of the wholesalers, one of Tom Doak's favourite golf courses. If you're driving up, just stop off there and play the Wee course. That's special.
Literally a 9-hole golf course, and it's had Old Tom, Alistair Mackenzie, and James Bain involved in it. Like, no other course must exist like that. It's had that pedigree.
No,
amazing.
Yeah. Golspie, again, another of these little Highland golf courses. Go up and play. I'm going a bit fast now because we're coming to the end of our kind of hour. But going to Cabot Highland, Old Petty. Old Petty just opens next week. So remember there, it's young. another Tom Doak course with Clyde doing a lot of lead on it. So I think that's going to be a good addition to it. So did you want to say something?
No,
cut you out.
no.
Yeah, Old Petty is going to be a good addition. And again, you can play the two courses. Um, and where else do we talk about? Crail Balcomie in Fife. Crail's 2 courses there. Magic golf courses. And David Roy, the secretary, was a wonderful guy. He only took the job because I think in the constitution, the secretary is required to drink with the members. But he'll be coming on quite soon. He's a fountain of knowledge about all sorts of things and just a great enthusiast about golf. Boniface. Where do we stop? Where do we go? Anything else we need to talk
Again,
about?
you've got 3 right after each other here, and I feel that maybe we should let you have the last word. But we've got 67 is Harris, 68 is Old Musselburgh, and 69 is Covesea. And again, they're 3 entirely different parts of the country, but just put a smile on your face. All 3 of them would put a smile on your face.
Absolutely.
I thought you might want to talk a wee bit about Old Musselburgh and sign off with a bit of Scotland's Golf Course, Malcolm. If no one's listening to the last few minutes anyway, right? So
Exactly.
crack on, please.
Old Musselburgh is has a fight with the old course in St Andrews, to which is the oldest golf course, and so I think the old course might win as continuously played, but I don't think it wins as the oldest golf course. However, be that as it may, fantastic little golf course inside the race course, and it was the second home of the Opens. The Open started at Prestwick, then it went to Musselburgh as it was then, and to St Andrews. Prestwick was 12, Musselburgh was 9, and Old Course was 22, and then they reconfigured back to they were. And the Honourable Company, which is now known as kind of Muir, well, they're not the Honourable Company, it was Muirfield, Burgess, Bruntsfield, and Musselburgh were all playing out that golf course. So huge history. The size of the cup we all put into was first done there, and the Fishwives Trophy is one of the oldest trophies in golf. It's the oldest female trophy in golf. So all this talk about women not playing golf in Scotland's goals always been for anybody. Boy, girl, woman, man, it's no problem. Just go play golf. Yeah, that's probably a place to stop. But there are so many other golf courses. Comrie and St Fillan's will be doing the 457 Society, 2 little 9 holes in Perth. I think that's one of our society's favourite days out. They're not golf courses to write home about, but the friendliness, it's just different. It's a day out with mates, boys and girls playing golf. Anyway, Dave, anything you want to say before we?
No, I think we've whistled a bit at the end there, but I think we've done the list justice, and as I say, I hope that everyone agrees that any golf course can be fun with the right people around you and the right attitude. But these are a particular range of amazingly fun golf courses that will always put a smile on your face.
Yeah. Go have a look at the list, and well done, Mr. Bertram, for getting you guys put it together. Dave, always a pleasure. So many great unknown golf courses right around Scotland, and very, very few poor ones. You'll find them all, and lots of other great info on our website, scotlandwheregolfbegan.com. You'll find the blogs and films there as well, and of course the 1457 podcast. Come and join the society, 49 quid found a member, and play golf with like-minded folk from right around the world, from America to Switzerland, our beekeepers, and the next sighting is at Kilspindy on Friday the 29th of May. You'll find us on social, Where Golf Began, Facebook, Scotland Where Golf Began. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for listening, wherever you are, morning, noon, night, or evening. Swing easy, somewhere over the rainbow.